Good evening, everybody, and happy Tuesday to you. Welcome to Keys and Powers Culinary Therapy. My name is Asia Goswell, and I will be your mental health clinician for the evening. And we are being joined by the amazing Jasmine Norton of the Urban Oyster, who happens to be my culinary chef for my segments. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you?
Great, how are you?
Cold.
Yes.
Very cold.
Yeah.
So for you all who are joining us for the first time, Culinary Therapy is a experience where we have provided fresh groceries for you to be able to cook along with us and learn how to make some amazing local foods, also using fresh produce from other restaurants, farms throughout the area, Maryland, and from family and friends of Jasmine's, and we'll get more into that into the show. But before we start tonight, what are we preparing?
So tonight we are going to make a potato and corn chowder.
I love corn chowder.
I love any type of chowder, to be honest with you.
Soupy person, like I like winter stuff.
Yes,
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So we're doing corn chowder. And also the important part about tonight's conversation is that we are going to be talking about loss and grief. We are about maybe 1 week away from Christmas. There has been a lot of tragedy that has gone on. More importantly, there has been a lot of violence within the Baltimore community. And we lost some amazing young people over the weekend. So this is a way for us to be able to find comfort within ourselves, comfort within food, and then to be able to kind of talk about that as we process through.
Absolutely. Loss, grief and loss can be celebrated, or it can be mourned, you know what I mean? And so I think it's important for us to keep, that's how you build tradition, that's how you build family recipes.
Yeah.
And so I know we were talking a little earlier, and we were talking about like what we remember, kind of like fellowshipping over with our family members. And I told you about my grandmother, who, God rest her soul, but she made codfish cakes for New Year's Day. Our family would always come together, and we would have codfish cakes and some other nasty other like pork stuff. But that was the one thing I remember, and that was the one dish that she made that we all couldn't wait until the end of the year to have. I don't know why. It's like certain things that we feel like we need to wait
tradition. Like peas for New Year's, chitterlings for New Year's, those things. So while we're getting ready to get set up and get you all started, let's go ahead and get your items out. So what items should they have to get ready? And I'll be right back.
Absolutely. So if you guys have your turkey bacon, you can get started with that. And if you don't have it, I can give you some of mine. You know what? Share mine. In that way, we can go through one pack.
Have y'all take your coats off.
Have that for another time.
Y'all pair it up with that.
So I'll take
Yeah.
some down this way.
We have
too.
some kind of balance right in here.
You can use it for another time, and then you can just use that. So we're going to cut the turkey bacon, okay?
Just go right on top of you. That's my stuff. Yep.
We're going to cut it down into like little strips. So I'll cut it and just show you guys.
And we'll get you set up.
So like these little strips right here. Everybody see that? So we'll take about four pieces, and then we'll cut them into little strips. So this will be how we start our chowder.
Love it.
So we want to get like that kind of like pickly-ish, smoky flavor. And I chose turkey bacon just so it can be a little more on the healthy side. But if you like pork bacon, that's fine.
That would float your boat.
Right. So we want to get everyone set up for their pots.
Okay.
But I'll let them get caught up.
No worries. No worries. No worries. So while you all at home are in the process of cutting up your turkey bacon and rinsing off your vegetables, have a conversation about maybe some meals in you all's family that come down from tradition. Maybe something a favorite aunt or uncle, or like the community aunt or uncle used to make. Like these are the things where we start making family traditions, and more importantly, finding our place in space, because sometimes the season isn't about the finances. It's about the memories.
Absolutely.
And there's warmth, not just within food, but also the ability of conversation around food.
Yeah. I was so glad you asked me to do, to do this like kind of topic, because my partner, she lost her sister in a fatal car accident. And
So sorry.
I said when I was coming up with the menu, I was like, I want to ask someone who's actually going through some, recent grief, like, what was some food that you and your sister, like, kind of fellowship to set at the table every, as kids or even as an adult.
Yeah.
And she was like, we love spaghetti. Like, we love spaghetti. So I was going to do spaghetti, but I know we've done that, in a couple sessions beforehand. So I changed it up. I actually made this early last week, and we loved it. So I wanted to do it again. I need somebody to experience what I did.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
We have a question. So I can use 4 strips and kind of to this side. So use 4 pieces of bacon. That should be more than enough. The 4 pieces of bacon get you all of this. So this probably makes up about a cup.
Man, y'all know bacon.
But
I'm
bite-sized strips.
And making foreign child.
Just as we're going, guys, like everything we make or cut, we want to make sure that it's bite-sized, because the idea is when we make this chowder or anytime you make soups, you want to make sure that you can get a little bit of everything, like as far as the ingredients, in one spoonful. So like we're dicing the onions like really small like this. Same with the potatoes, they're really small, just so that we can make sure that we can get a little bit of everything in a spoonful. Same with the carrot. So I'll go ahead and cut up some celery, just so if you need some help on how to get it that small, we can do that. So we'll cut off the unnecessary part.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will use this to make other things or garnish, but we don't need this for tonight. So we'll take the celery and just cut it as thin as possible. Make sure you tuck your fingers down, because we want to make sure that we're protecting our finger, so we have them for the next day. All right. And so then we'll have these small bite size, but everything needs to be bite size, as I said again, because we want to make sure we can get a little bit of all of this stuff in a spoonful.
So I think the other thing is looking at the color and the variety.
Yes.
Sometimes there are things like, I'm not a tomato onion person. I love the flavors. I know what it adds to it, but sometimes in life there are things that just don't work well for us, but we still have to include because there's spice and variety. And I think that's also part of the important conversations that we're able to have over food. Food has the ability to be able to connect, to savor, to be able to be like, did you taste that piece, or were you able to express that? And that has a way of enticing the senses.
Absolutely.
And also creating memories.
Absolutely.
And so I think sometimes we get caught up in tragedy and the bad memories that we kind of lose hope of the good ones. But like being able to come in and smell grandma's pie, or being able to lick the bowl after the cake is being made, or knowing that the how grandma used to make the gravy in the bottom of the cast iron skillet, like those are things that have a certain taste and smell, and that triggers the like, that's part of the nostalgia.
Absolutely. For instance, we all just celebrated Thanksgiving for those who celebrate, and it's just like, certain things we associate with people, with certain people, right? Like 2 things. I stopped talking to a person, and they loved my curry chicken so much that like they broke the silence just so I could make it. So like,
you would see like kings and queens sit down at tables and be like, we're gonna break bread, and then you break out in the room.
Right.
You can hear over it. That's awesome. I don't eat curry chicken, but you're gonna make me some curry salmon and shrimp or something.
Guys, I can tell you right now. Maybe I'll go back. I don't know, but not right now.
Be right back.
But no, yeah, to your point though, Asia. So like, for Thanksgiving, I was not trying to have anybody's mac and cheese besides my aunt's. So I definitely associate certain foods with certain people and certain moments. And that goes down to heritage too. You know what I mean? Like certain cultures are known for making certain things. And so when we travel, which is enjoyable too, we know if we go to Mexico, we can expect guacamole and all that kind of stuff, tacos. And so that's nostalgic too and memorable, because not only are you vacationing, but you're indulging in that culture. Exactly. So I went to Cabo last month, and oh my gosh, like I ate all the beans.
want a little bit of everything, please. I love it.
Right.
But it's also like, how do you share culture? How do you all share culture? Okay, I love it. So what are some of your favorite items? And are they specific to holidays or traditions, or is it just like a favorite?
Well, you know, our eat culture, our eat holiday, we may have traditional chicken, rice.
Okay.
We may have some soul food in there, mac and cheese.
Make me hungry.
Maybe some Middle Eastern food.
Okay.
Nice.
Definitely lamb.
All I hear is flavor. Like all I see is seasoning.
Yes.
Oh my
Right.
goodness, zest.
Spicy foods?
We do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Love it.
awesome. All right, so we're gonna get right to it.
Make sure you wash your vegetables,
Yeah,
please, as well.
please.
They're straight from the earth.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of
Yeah,
dirt and
please.
grit. So make sure you
And
mix them.
let them sit in there, like for us.
I burnt my hand.
We had them in what they would call a vegetable bath, so they can just kind of
Baby.
loosen up from the roots of the dirt. But we're gonna go ahead and make it to our pot, so if we want to get everybody set up with this.
Okay.
The first thing we're gonna do is put the turkey bacon that we cooked and put it inside of our pot.
All right. And what are we setting our temperature to for the turkey bacon?
Let's set it to low for right now, like medium to low, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Gonna be careful with that, okay? And we're just gonna make a family goulash. And then we just gonna go home, make sure you can make your own enjoy. Love it. How we working out there at home? Let's see some of those cameras on so we can see some of the amazing items that you have going on. We should see some color, some green, some orange, some white, a little bit of red, or brown for your potatoes, depending upon what color they came out. Also, for my babies who are listening, this is the time where you guys get to kind of be vulnerable and talk to your parents about mushy stuff.
Yeah.
Be clear, your parents want to hear. They may not know it, but they do. You may not know it, but they do. But more importantly, if you're sad or you're not feeling well, it's okay to tell your parents that you have a case of the ickies. And maybe it's like me and I'd be like, yeah, I'm not really feeling the onions. The same way I'm not feeling these feelings. It's hard and it's cold. It's very melancholy outside. It doesn't feel seasonal.
Yeah.
I noticed that there are not as many lights in like the hotels and the airport as it's been. And even during COVID, I think I felt more family and holidays.
Yeah.
So if you all are out there having a case of the seasonal ickies, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat with you, but hopefully after this corn shout, I'll feel better tonight and full.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like, you know, seasonal change of emotion is definitely a thing.
I'm sorry, right behind.
You're good over here?
Yep. Put you on low. There you go.
It's hot.
Yeah, they do. All right, what's the liquid so we don't burn?
I know, right? We had to go ahead and make that. Because we're not working with as much fat as pork bacon would be.
So it's not
So
included.
if you have your measuring cups, let's go ahead and do our 2 cups of milk, okay?
Got milk. And do 2
And
cups of
then
milk.
after we do our 2 cups of milk, we'll add the rest of our veggies.
Go, come. Girl, if you don't put that damn milk in that cup, everybody's participating. Yes. All right, so, next time, we only have a quarter cup.
We have a half cup here.
Now, they have a quarter cup.
Oh.
So what that means is we would need to do 8 of these to equal 2 cups. Make sense? So we're gonna do 8 of these to equal 2 cups.
So that means 1 cup is what? 4 of them.
Y'all got a half cup down here? So if you all have a half cup, how many do we need? So 2 halves make a whole, and you need 2 cups. So we're gonna do it 4 times, okay? Fill it up to the top, and you need 4 of those, yep. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
your cookie bacon is burning or cooking too fast, just go ahead and add your milk now. Right after you add your milk, add your celery, your onion, your carrots, and then let that kind of work its magic for a little bit, kind of sweat down.
Okay, so we got a little bit of everything going in.
Yep.
All right, so after your milk, we start adding the vegetables. Now we want to see the colors start coming together. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So then you all can start adding your carrots. You can start adding your celery and your potatoes. Wonderful.
How we doing? Good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see those cameras. Let's see where that color's coming along. I don't know a lot of people like corn chowder. Who wants corn chowder?
Corn chowder is amazing.
And I think the other thing too is you want something that's gonna make you feel full.
Yes.
Um,
Something with the potatoes.
but that's also part of mind. When your mind and your body are in comfort, you have the ability to kind of relax and not be as stressed or as intense. And we have a question.
The question, okay.
Add milk to turkey.
Yes.
Yes, add the milk to the bacon.
Add the milk.
2 cups of milk to your bacon in your pot.
Yep, and right after that, you're gonna add all of your veggies, okay?
There we go, Jazz. I look good.
Can everybody see that?
Okay, family, come on, little chef Boyardee.
Okay, that is great.
I love it. All right, so let's spin it around a little bit.
All right. Also, let's not forget our corn.
It's called corn chowder, right?
Yep.
The corn,
Potato
potato and corn chowder, so it has to be added.
We're gonna do a half cup of the corn.
There we go. All right, half cup of corn. You all can add some more milk if you need to. It's based on the amount of vegetables that you have. Yes.
Okay, so we got
So, Jasmine, we actually have a couple of families that have fresh corn at home. So you all will actually take your corn on the cob and you will be cutting from the ear. Is that correct?
Yep, so like if this is your corn, right? You wanna kind of go down the corn like that. Until the kernels are falling off. I mean, obviously this isn't corn, but if I had some fresh corn, then you would just be shaving it off the kernel, just like that, if this was the corn.
And I got a request, Jason. I want to make some fried corn.
Okay.
Yes. I love fried corn. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love fried corn, fried cabbage.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, we might have to get some cabbage on. So the other thing about even leafy vegetables is the amount that once you cook it in the green part leaves, you've taken all of the nutrients out of it. And I know that in our community, we love letting that stuff simmer and cook down.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to just kind of flash fry it and maybe put it in the bottom of the pan and
Mhm.
do it quick.
Yeah,
How we looking, family? How we looking?
so we gotta keep going with the, we have lids for the stock pot?
Yes,
Okay.
we have lids for the stock pot. We good? Nope, I think y'all will be good. All right, let's get you a little bit more heat. Yep, there we go. And y'all can add extra corn if you want to as well. Maybe y'all got a little bit more down here. How those conversations coming along? Did we learn something new about ourselves, family? Have we processed the moment? Have we shared a memory? Have we discussed the smell of our favorite family members' food? Or have we talked about a favorite recipe that we like to create? How about you all share with us? Come off mute or type in the box so we can start sharing some of these family traditions.
Absolutely, and in the meantime, let's add our chicken broth.
Okay,
Honestly,
if y'all
you
want
can
to.
add many carrots if you want. If you don't like carrots, you don't have to do that either. I always kind of use like a quarter to a half cup of everything, just so it's not like.
Mine chunky. Like I'm a chunky soup eater.
Yeah,
I love chunky.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I love chili.
I wanted chili so bad. And I was like, can we make a fresh cornbread? I was like, I don't know if we got chili time. And I'm like, oh, Jason, we got to talk about some crock pot meals too.
Yeah, definitely.
So for families at home who are looking for a way to be able to cook a meal where they don't actually have to cook and it can prepare itself, crock pots are a phenomenal opportunity. So it would be like maybe taking all of these ingredients, putting them in the mortar, setting it on the low, letting it cook for 6 to 8, and then coming back. So could you do corn chowder in a crock pot?
Absolutely, you could do chicken,
Beef?
you could do beef, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you could do the chili, honestly.
You know what? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna do a crock pot meal. Yeah, we're gonna do a crock pot meal.
All right.
A
So,
couple of seasons, if we don't see
I
what
was
it's
doing.
doing.
Did you put some? You can do.
It's a policy, right? Shake, shake, shake.
Of your.
Yeah, and shake it up. Let's go ahead and spin it a little bit more.
And we're gonna have to let this cook thoroughly, because one, we want everything to cook. But we also want to make sure our turkey bacon is cooked too, okay? So once we put the chicken stock in, we're gonna cover it up and then we're gonna let it go for a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Jasmine. We have somebody that said that theirs actually looks pretty good and they've never made this before. So why don't we send us some photos so we can see how finished theirs?
All right. So I'm soul seasoning at this point, because my phone that.
What is soul seasoning? What does that mean to soul season something?
So soul seasoning is how we all learn, because honestly, I do have a recipe for this, but my phone died, if we want to be honest, on this Tuesday evening. So I would say we should be doing a tablespoon, one tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. Same with the garlic powder. So we want to make sure we got some flavor to our veggies. Actually, let's say 2 tablespoons, because we
Okay.
want to make sure that our potatoes get really seasoned.
So that's just
So 2
shake
tablespoons for the all-purpose seasoning.
2 tablespoons. How we working out down here?
Garlic, good.
Okay, we're gonna let those potatoes cook down, let them get real soft, get a little chunky.
When you put
I
the
love
seasoning
it.
in, make sure you give it a good stir. We want to make sure everybody's getting a fair shot at seasoning.
So what happens if you over season? Is there a way to cut back? Like, I've gone and sprinkled before and then like the cap fell off or something didn't go right. So is there a way to like unseason your food?
So it depends on what it is, but I mean, yes, you can try to save it as best you can, right? So something like this, water will always dilute it, right?
Then it,
Other things is sometimes vinegar can cut. They like, unless you can just literally, if you seasoned it and you haven't stirred it, you can just scoop it out. So it kind of depends on what it is, you know what I mean? Or if it's like a piece of meat and it just dumped on top, you can like scoop it up, pat it off with a paper towel or something like that.
got it.
Some things is hard to say, but what I will say is like when you're cooking soups or, you know, when you're making like a gravy from scratch, you know, with like the fat of a meat or anything like that seasoning kind of settles in as it's cooking more. So you kind of want to like
Get
pace
it.
yourself.
So over
You
time.
want to pace yourself over time, check it, keep checking in with it, because
Much like our
if you do it,
feelings. If you stop and then explode, you're gonna heal. Gradually,
Right.
let it out. And it's okay, even if it's just the night that you cook and be like, Mom, today was not a good day, and I would like to sit here and cut these onions up.
yeah.
It's a perfect thing. So
Absolutely.
that was a perfect tie-in.
Yeah,
It never had too much.
right.
Let's go.
All right, how's everybody's stuff looking? It should be, you should get like a good aroma off of this.
Yep, let's get y'all a little bit more heat. How we feeling, families? We enjoying?
Yeah,
Okay.
fun. All right, well, yeah. So while we're letting our stuff,
You don't look like a chef made it though.
hey, I mean,
I'm not mad.
I don't know what to say about
The
that.
design, I love it. Like, we're gonna bring it home for you to see and be clear.
Yeah.
Just practice and making things look good. So this is part of her look.
All right, so
You
I'll
want-
bring it over real quick. Everybody can see what we got.
Look
going
at
on here.
that.
So.
Yeah, that looks
And
delicious.
so what I would say is, taste the soup, right?
Mm.
If this is the start of it, if it feels like in maybe 10 minutes, you need a little more, all-purpose season, then do that. So you want to season it to your liking. This is your soup. You own the soup, make it yours,
That part.
whatever you want to do with it.
Man, look at the families.
Yeah.
So maybe you added a tradition. Maybe you added something different. Maybe instead of using orange potatoes, you wanted to use purple carrots. I'm sorry. Instead of Like the purple, we had a purple mash. It was
Sweet
absolutely,
potato, yes.
it was delicious. So things like that, but it doesn't have to be traditional. You can change it up. If you don't want something in it, you don't have to. The
Yep.
same way how you all function within your household does not have to match that of your neighbors, that of your other family members. It is central and nuclear to you all.
Absolutely.
And as long as you all feel comfortable with how you can express and share your feelings and feel supported, that's all that matters. This is you adding to the ingredients, not just to the food, but to your lives.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because we're doing like this holiday market this weekend and we're gonna do something like build your own chowder, right?
Okay.
Because then that way they can express, like, think about the genius like psyche behind like places like Chipotle and like Kava and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where you can really like express your personality through the food because you're like, well, let me get that, and then let me get that, let me get
I
that.
love it.
And then they put you on the limit. They're like, it was extra if you did it. Like, I don't care. Like,
I love it. I want though, and it's worth it.
but it's, like
A la carte.
you're expressing yourself through the food, like you're going crazy. So do that with your chowder. Like when I made this at home last week, I added lobster meat to mine. You know what I mean? Like, so you can really like
Oh
go
yeah.
how you want to.
Oh my goodness.
So chicken or steak, like
Variety.
that's your thing. But let's check real quick on everybody's temperature so we can make sure
Everything's cooking through. All
we're
right.
doing it.
You started with bacon over there. Okay, come on. All right, you gotta mix it in though. You gotta start. There we go. He's still adding ingredients.
Oh, you got a lot in there. Let me turn you up a little bit. Cause we want your turkey and all that stuff and start cooking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta come to these things hungry. I enjoy it.
But
That's part of it. So, but also this is now etched into a memory. So the ability to be like, when you go somewhere, they be like corn chowder. Remember the time we were making corn chowder live in the kitchen? Jasmine, can you also tell us about the space that we're in? Because this is a community co-sharing space.
Absolutely. So right now we're in a space in East Baltimore, Charles Village area called Our Time Kitchen. This is a woman-owned and minority-owned establishment. So basically, this space was built for people who don't have, their own spaces. You can come in here. You can do a pop-up. We've done a pop-up here. We did it on
Kitchen specifically, cooking, culinary.
Culinary,
Okay.
yes. All this is for food-based businesses. People have done pop-ups in here. They have like a little retail window on the backside. They're also building like a little courtyard area right now, so they can have an outdoor space. And one of the owners had the food truck, so she'll put her food truck out there once it's finished. So probably next spring it'll be like fully accessed. They also plan to like build up some offices where it's kind of like a co-working space so it'll be like a full service. Exactly. That's exactly what this is.
For all my junior chefs at home, I hope they're getting their julienne on and dicing and slicing. There is a home for you. There are places that are creating these entities for you all to come and learn in culinary kitchens with real industrial equipment, because a home oven is not the same as a double door. Same with a 6-burner stove or a 4-burner.
Absolutely. Yes, so the onions, we are doing a half cup, and the onions, we want to dice them. So
Cooking down in there.
let me start with a new onion here. Israel, can you give me a new onion?
I sure can.
I'll make it work with this one.
I don't blame you. I don't know anything.
So
I get
the
it now.
best way for me to describe how you should be cutting your onion is like a tic-tac-toe board. And I hope I'm not like showing my age talents.
No, I think people.
But she told me she plays tic-tac-toe. So
To take out real time.
So a tic-tac-toe pattern is what you should be doing. That's the easiest way to dice an onion, or actually any vegetable that you can actually get that sort of precision of a cut. So a half cup of your diced onions. Again, tic-tac-toe pattern. I'll do it again with the brand new one.
And also, we will resend the recipe out so that you all can have this as your base. And then as you all continue to create this meal at home as part of Keys, you can continue to add and update. And maybe we'll do a remix one day and we'll have some people show us how they concocted their chowder after the base. I love it.
Okay, and so back to the question, 2 cups of milk. What was the other thing?
Broth.
Broth. 1 cup, half cup of broth.
And what does
Half
the
of a
broth do?
So the broth just kind of gives it more flavor, you know what I mean, like more body. But yes, your onion should look like this once you make that tic-tac-toe pattern and then cut it. There you go. It just should look just like that. So the final thing, and we might not be ready on over here just yet to add the cream cheese. But the final thing is going to be the cream cheese, and the cream cheese is just to kind of give it a little more body, more creaminess, more than anything.
Love it. So I know some of you at home had regular milk and some of you all might have gotten buttermilk. We wanted to use regular milk for this. Buttermilk will change the consistency of it, and it will change the flavor. So I do apologize for that small note.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the cream cheese, you
Oh,
want,
I'm sorry, question about heavy cream.
so heavy cream would make it a thicker, you know, more
Okay.
like more chunky, as
You
you
ready?
say, right? Because that's the whole point of it, right? Like to make it thick and you know, full of body. So it would definitely have that much more thick. Yes, but that is kind of the purpose that the cream cheese is going to serve, and also like with a little like cheesy taste to it, right? So
Okay.
the cream cheese, we're supposed to use a half block, but if you have something like this,
Scoop.
I would say use your serving spoon to kind of measure it out. If that doesn't work, a cup. This is about equivalent to a cup. So, and then make sure you whisk it in real good because you want it to be still smooth.
Oh, you have one.
Well, if we whisk it now that our vegetables are soft, it might turn into, so don't use the whisk. Use your serving spoon to mix in your cream cheese, because if you whisk it, it's gonna break up your potatoes and your.
Ah. And then it's gonna be like mash.
Just, exactly, so just stir it really good.
Yeah, a little bit more heat. Oh, good job there. Y'all will be coming through. It's heat.
It'll dissolve because as it touches the heat, the cream cheese will start to melt. Think of like, if you've ever had like crab dip or anything like that, that is the base of crab dip and things like that, is cream cheese. So it will definitely melt, so you just gotta keep stirring it up.
All right, let's see those cameras. Let's show us those colors. Let's see how it's cooking down. Let's see if we can see some of the flavor and the seasoning.
All right. This is where I am. This is where we are.
Yes, that's where we are. Yes.
So we're
That
still
looks delicious.
our cream cheese. Make sure it's all melted. Again, use your serving spoon. Don't use your whisk, or you're gonna have mashed chowder. Okay.
Also, tell us some other ingredients that you all might add to your chowder as you all continue to make this at home. Are we looking at a seafood chowder? Are we looking at a crab chowder, a chicken chowder? All types of stuff.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
also you can add bread, you can add rolls, muffins.
you could do like a garlic like toast.
Come on, come on,
Mhm.
come on, come on.
Mhm. It would be amazing.
Also, if you have a dish that you normally share for for tradition or as a comfort food, go ahead and drop it for us. Our feelings are something that we normally have a tendency to eat because sometimes we don't have the ability to find the words to say it, but we want to feel full or consumed. And so when you have the ability to come in and create your own meals using fresh fruits and vegetables, it allows you to be mindful of your health, your stress, your balance, but more importantly, the fact that you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, something that's not being processed or put in a bag or coming out of a can. If you can, try to use frozen vegetables. If you can't do fresh, I'm a frozen vegetable and fruit person. It's very convenient. Cut, go, microwave and go. I'm an air fryer mom. We're there, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, man.
Listen,
Convenient.
listen,
Right?
listen.
We're cooking.
I made lobster tails in my air fryer last night. I have made crab cakes. I've made lamb chops, like literally.
So we're gonna do a crab fryer tutorial as well, along with chili.
I'm not making this up. Like I made lamb chops in my air fryer. I've made crab cakes, lamb chops,
That's delicious.
the lobster tails. Like it's listen.
Yeah, I love it. You have an air fryer? I have an air fryer.
The air fryer is the move, like
It's-
the move.
it's
I made
wonderful.
steak in it too. Like it's,
I love it.
I had one, but it was so big.
I haven't baked obnoxious ones. but
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes it's the convenience of counter space and where do you put it? Much like our emotions, We don't always have the ability to put them out on the counter and sort
Yeah,
through them.
yeah.
Sometimes we need the ability
Yeah.
to move through.
And
I'm checking with you.
the reason that, so I was pescatarian, honestly, I became pescatarian because I was so pescatarian is like you seafood, all types. Of
Yes, it
seafood,
is.
Right? It's all seafood, right? And so I became pescatarian actually when I started my business. And the reason being is because I found my body having a hard time processing meat and milk.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it, and then the pandemic came. So 2017, I started my business. The pandemic came, and I didn't know what that meant for my restaurant. So in all honesty, I was depressed. I didn't know what life was gonna be like. I had people with staff depending on me, a mom depending on me,
Yeah.
you know, because she had retired as a cosmetologist to become my business partner. So that weighed heavy on me. I started eating everything again. And so I gained, 30 pounds between when the pandemic started to now.
Wow.
So fast forward to now, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to let that go.
Yeah.
It has came, has went, and I'm in a better place. I got a new restaurant, a new location. So I'm back to being pescatarian, like dieting, trying to train and all of that stuff. But it's true, like emotions and food, like
They correlate.
Yeah,
They do.
for sure.
Because the other thing is that it's about consumption. And also be mindful that grief isn't about death, it's about the separation of a relationship for something.
Mhm.
So going back to school and your favorite teachers not being there, going back to work and your cubicle mate not being there,
Yeah.
going back to any place and your favorite person or something that felt familiar not being there. So when we talk about grief and depression, we want to be mindful that it's just not at the point of a funeral service or a transition. It can be from a person, a place, or a thing.
Absolutely.
So with that, we're getting ready to wrap up. What are some final notes for our corn chowder? And don't forget to send us your videos. Don't forget us to show us your photos. You all can either send it to the text message that has been texting you all. You can email them to us directly, or you can tag us on social media at keys_empowered.
So final notes is, again, let your corn chowder your corn and potato chowder to continue to cook. If you have a lid, please put that on. That'll make things progress even faster. I'm going to show you what ours looks like, what it should look like, but you want your potatoes to be soft. And if you cut your carrots and your onions and all that other stuff small enough, that stuff will cook really fast. But most importantly, we want our turkey bacon to be cooked too. So let that top stay on and covered up and all that stuff. But let me put some in a bowl so I can show you what this looks like really quickly.
That sounds good. Every time. Every time. We can't be friends. Because then all the stuff you don't want to eat, I'm gonna want to eat, and then it's gonna be a lot.
But you see how like that cream cheese helped to make it thick,
It looks
right?
delicious.
Yeah, if you really feel it spicy, right?
Come on, let's do it.
So spicy. Put a little bit of chives on there. If you don't like chives, that's fine too.
You can use whatever you want.
That's what you should be looking like.
That's beautiful. All right. Thank you, families, for cooking with us live. Thank you for our facility. This was absolutely amazing, and we will see you all on the next session of Keys Empowered.